Hello, good morning. Thank you for staying on the AM show. I'm Bernice, Abu-Baidoo, Lansah. It's time to tell you about Agrihouse Foundation's Women in Food and Agricultural Leadership. Now, this is a leadership program that has been happening over the years, and thankfully, it's been supported by Yara. And today we have the West African Regional Director of Yara International, Dankwa Adoyobo, here in the studio with us to tell us more about why the focus on women in agriculture. Good morning. It's great to have you.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
All right. So let's start off on that point. I mean, studying a bit of history of different cultures, you realize that farming is what many women used to do at the time. You know, women go to the farm, they go pick up firewood, and that was it. Why the need to focus on women in agriculture at this time?
I think over the years, you're right, in some cultures, yes, you have a lot more women. But in Ghana, where traditionally a lot of the families and households have gone into farming, and the men have been seen to be the breadwinners, it appears that a lot of the farming over the years, and including these days, is significantly dominated by men. But for what we do on the ground and our interaction in the farming folks, we have realized that when women are involved in farming, you know, the thing about women from the home, where they take care of the home very well and all that, it goes into farming. So there's a certain passion that goes into it. And when you see women doing well, they really do well in the farming space. So we realize that it's important to focus a bit on the women and bring the potential out. And we have seen that going very well in some of the parts of our business.
Another thing I think separates your initiative from others is that you go down to every level. So even for this particular one, you're focusing on a particular region. Last time it was the Volta region, this time it's the Western, is it? Why that strategy and how has it worked for you?
We look at trying to impact the country as a whole. And we also realize that we cannot do everything at the same time. So it's important for us that as we have a national focus, when we go into programs like this, we are able to zoom into specific areas. This is the 4th edition, and this is the 4th region that is coming in. And I'm sure that in the subsequent ones, we will move to other regions as well. So for every edition, we create the opportunity to zoom into a particular region, because the potential nationwide is very huge. And we have seen good results from the various regions that we have worked in.
And you have specialized programs that you've done in every district. Just tell us how they've impacted the women and what you've been able to achieve.
So some of the specialized programs we have done in the districts in the past, and also we continue to do, has been like crop clinics, you know. And clinic is something that people can relate to, right? So crop clinics means we go into a community, we look at the main crops that are grown in the community, and we open up a clinic and actually allow the community to come and interact and talk to us about the crop. So we're teaching them on best farming practices, the right seed, the right fertilizers, you know, for the various crops, so that they can improve their yield and the productivity. We also do a lot of demonstration farms around the country, which is owned and driven by the farmers, to use that to educate and build capacity for the farmers. And through those, we have seen that we have helped farmers, including women farmers, to more than double their yields over the years. Okay. In fact, the averages of some of the farmers we work with is higher than the national average per acre if you talk of maize and rice, for instance. And we have seen, we work with different women groups that we are able to also test the results. For instance, we work with the St. Cecilia cooperative, which is from the Upper West region. We work with Development Action Aid. They cover Greater Accra, Eastern region as well, and Central region. And I have been in contact with the Widows Association in Tamale, for instance, which is also a women group. And the work we do with them, the support we give them, the training we give them is showing results, and it's helping them to be more productive. And of course, it means it's also helping them to have income that can be supportive to the households.
Now, when I say you, I mean your organization, Yara, has been supporting the WOF Agric, that's Women in Food and Agricultural Leadership Training, since its inception. Yes. And even the Gold in the Soil Awards. You've been to many parts of the country, like you've highlighted earlier. And per what I've been reading about the work that has been done, a lot of women have been discovered, supported. What have you learned about women in agric as you go? And let's even examine or focus on what their situation would have been but for the intervention that Wolf Agric and Yara gives them?
One highlight I would say, for last year, one of the winners, Madam Portia Azumda, she's from somewhere in the Upper East region. I'm trying to remember the name of the place. I don't want to risk pronouncing it wrongly, but she's Madam Portia Azumda. She, through the program that we have done, today she exports shea butter to Canada and US. Significant market opportunity that would not have been there for her if we had not done this. We have also been able to support women who have been nominated into some of the national farmer awards. You know, every year when the farmer awards are being done, there are also district level awards as well. Some of the women who have come through the program have been able to grow to get to that stage where a few have also won awards as well. We also see that without these opportunities, women are like gold in the soil. You know, if you don't extract, if you don't expose, you will not see the value. And when we have gone and exposed some of these women, the value that they bring to the communities, some are working with 2,000 women groups in the Upper East, Upper West region. And the opportunities that is created for them is very significant. And I think these are some of the key things that motivates us to keep going with programs like this.
Let me put you on the spot here. Do you get a sense that on the national scale, a lot of attention is not given to women in women in agric and women farmers?
You are really putting me on the spot, and I would avoid saying yes or no, but I think that a lot more attention can be given to women. We are in agri space. We have been in agri space for a long time. There's a lot of programs in agri space that is targeting farmers. And one would say maybe they are not deliberately not focusing on women and focusing on men. But I believe that we can have a bit more focus on women to help unearth the potential and some of the things that we are seeing. Today in agribusiness, our biggest distributor as Yara in Ghana is a woman. And I say that with passion every time, because we have significant distribution network in the country. We have very strong distributors as well, but it's a woman who is our best distributor. And it's because also internally we have a very direct focus, and in the future the plans that we have to unearth more women and to promote more women in the agri space. And I believe that the country can come along and do a bit more in that space.
And not to sound patronizing, but I think that you've done quite well when it comes to focusing on minority groups in the agri sector. And there is another group within the women subgroup that you support. That's women with disabilities. For you, you say disability does not mean no ability.
Yes.
Tell us what you do specifically with examples to help women who live with disabilities but are involved in agric and farming.
So it's important when you say women with disabilities. It's a very emotional topic for me because, like you said, if you are not careful, you start to sound patronizing. So the women with disabilities that we have seen over the years, as part of this program that we have brought on board, we try to identify what are their key requirements, what are their challenges. And because we are in the fertilizer space, but because we are focused on creating opportunities, if their challenge is markets, then together with us in Agrihouse, we are bringing together market players who can access them so that when they do some production, it can be bought. If their challenge is about knowing the right practices to do, then we have the expertise that we go in on the ground and spend time and educate and guide them. You know, if their challenge, for instance, is access to fertilizers, which sometimes can be difficult in very, very remote areas, then we are able to organize with our resources and make sure that we make fertilizers available to that community that those groups are in. So we are trying very specific to make sure that we are addressing the needs that they have. That's what we are, some of the things we have been doing.
So let's think futuristic. Where do you expect to see this whole initiative, Gold in the Soil Awards, War for Greek, in the, let's give ourselves 3 to 5 years?
In the next 3 to 5 years, I would like to see that women in agribusiness, and I'm thinking beyond farming.
Okay.
I'm looking at agribusiness to say the whole agri value chain. So of course, farming is part of it. The logistics in the agri space is part of it. Processing is part of it. Distribution is part of it. I would like to see that more women stand out and actually be award winners in the national events that we seem to have a lot of men winning. It would really be great to see the national best farmer being a woman at a point. You know, it would be great to see some of the district best farmers being women. You know, and it would also be great to see some of the big processes in the countries being led by women, being agri businesses that are going in that space. That's what I like to see in the next 2 to 5 years window.
Mr. Yobo, the theme for this particular edition of War for Greek and the Gold in the Soil Awards is Agri-Woman, Recover, Grow, Stand Out. Tell us how this aligns with YARA's post-COVID recovery or response direction. Okay,
so there are 3 words in the theme you mentioned, right? Recover. So that means we have gone into a situation that is not great. We were seeing growth and a very positive direction. COVID came in and then we've had issues and the Ukraine impact and all that. So today we're helping to make sure that agribusinesses and women recover by ensuring some of the things we're doing is ensuring that in the midst of the difficulties of getting fertilizers, we have committed ourselves as YARA to bring fertilizers to Ghana, and we're doing today. We have a good position around the country. We have continued the work we used to do before the COVID. We have not scaled back. In fact, we have tried to increase that because we have seen the need to get closer and help the recovery. And then we expect that we don't just recover and go to the old states because we're trying to grow. So we grow with them. And then, like I said, I need some to stand out and be award winners. What YARA is driving at today, you know, the COVID effect is not gone completely. So it's not as if tomorrow we're going into streets post. So this is why the 3 things are important. But post the COVID, we have a very clear growth plan that we expect to grow with women and also with other farmers as well. And we also have very clear targets on supporting women in the group going forward. And we expect that post-COVID, we would scale that up even more. You know, a few years ago, our Group CEO actually instituted an award for women farmers globally. And I'm happy to say that some of the women farmer groups we work with in Ghana won the awards.
Globally?
Globally, yes. They won the awards.
That's impressive.
That came, and we had to give some things out to some of those farmer groups. And we will continue that drive post-COVID so that we can bring out a lot more.
So there's going to be a training session for about 300 women, we understand, in the Western and Western North regions. There may be a woman farmer watching us, or there may be somebody who knows a woman farmer and says, oh, I'd wish her to be part of it. Is it too late? What are the processes if someone wants to be part?
It's not too late. I believe that Agrihouse is promoting a lot on how to join and how to access the event. It's not a closed event as in with very limited number of people. It's just that the commitment we've had is around 300, but I think there's opportunity for more people to come in. The trainings we will do, our agronomists will be available to do trainings on best farming practices, you know, the right fertilizers for the right crops, the right application. The focus is to help that people can grow yield properly and can also be more profitable. We would also do some trainings on business management because it's not only farming, but it's also business. So the experience we have in driving and supporting businesses, we will bring that to the fore as well. And there would also be some mentorship sessions. And when you go into that space, you almost don't have limits, you know, because then you are open to engage on the issues that the participants will bring up. And I intend to be there myself together with my team so I can have the opportunity to share as well.
Let's focus on the awards now, the Gold in the Soil Awards. Some 45 women have been shortlisted. Tell me, what do you think about them?
You said 300 participants. I've already said there are one group with more than 2,000 up north, and the women farmers in Ghana are a lot. So if you are shortlisted in the 45, for me, that means you have stood out among many and you have made significant progress that gets you shortlisted. So winning is not everything, but getting to this stage should encourage and drive you. And whether you win or not, you have already won by being in that list. And whatever you've done to bring you there we should encourage them to continue and go to the next level. And of course, there would be winners among the 45, and I would like to appreciate them in advance and wish them well. But I hope that after this, in future, when we look back to this 45, we can find people who have progressed significantly from it.
Now, even though Yara and War for Greek is supporting women, I want to believe you think there is more space for support, right? What would you like to see moving forward, besides what you and War for Greek have been doing to boost or to help women in agric in the country?
There's significant opportunity beyond what we do. I mean, we're just one company making a lot of efforts to make an impact, and I believe that we have made some good impact, but there's a lot more opportunity for a lot more women groups to be supported. So funding is one of the feed that we get. Access to financing is very important. It's very difficult in the Greek space, and especially when it comes to women and when you start to narrow down as well. So what I would like to see, I know the government has a GESAL in place. Maybe a bit more targeting and support for women groups would be very important. Access to market for some of them is difficult. They produce and they sell in the local markets, and the middlemen are taking spaces, and sometimes products are going bad. So market players would be important for them to get on board in future so that we can create the right opportunities for them.
And you say women are the gold in the soil. You've mentioned that already. Just in one line, tell us why you think so.
If you take the concept of gold in the soil, when you extract it, it creates wealth, it creates value. And if you have the right support for women, that's what you create for the community.
Thank you very much. Dankwa Adoyobo is West African Regional Director for Yara International. It's been a pleasure talking to you about women in agric here on the AM show.